The rise of economic warfare, how Trump's tariffs sparked global retaliation. The global economy is hurtling toward a breaking point, and the BRICS nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, have just dropped a bombshell that's rattling financial capitals from New York to Shanghai. Donald Trump's brash threat to impose 150% tariffs on their exports was meant to strong-arm these rising powers into submission, protecting American industries from what he calls an invasion of cheap goods. Instead, BRICS has countered with a revolutionary payment system that could dismantle the US dollar's chokehold on international trade. This isn't a minor skirmish, it's full-blown economic warfare with the potential to upend decades of Western dominance. Imagine a world where the dollar isn't king, where trade flows seamlessly without touching American banks, and where nations once tethered to US financial might chart their own course. That's the vision BRICS is chasing, fueled by Trump's provocation. For years, the US has leaned on its currency to enforce its will. Sanctions here, trade deals there. But this latest move might have pushed the pendulum too far. Are we on the cusp of a new financial order, with power shifting to the east and south? Or is this a desperate bluff by BRICS, a coalition that's overreached in its bid to defy the American giant? The stakes are colossal, and the outcome could redefine global prosperity for generations. Trump's tariffs, a protectionist gamble or economic misfire? Trump's trade policy is a high-stakes roll of the dice, steeped in his signature America First swagger. The plan? Slap 150% tariffs on imports from China, India, Brazil, and Russia, targeting a laundry list of goods. Think Chinese smartphones, Indian generic drugs, Brazilian orange juice, and Russian aluminum. The pitch is pure populism. Shield American workers from foreign competition, resurrect factories shuttered by globalization, and make the US a manufacturing titan again. Picture steelworkers in Youngstown, Ohio, punching the clock once more, or cotton farmers in Georgia reclaiming markets lost to overseas rivals. It's a nostalgic vision of red, white, and blue economic glory, but the reality is a minefield. These tariffs don't just hit BRICS, they ricochet across a global economy stitched together by intricate supply chains. Consider the tech sector. Apple assembles iPhones with Chinese chips and Indian components. A 150% tariff could balloon production costs by $10 billion annually, pushing that $999 phone to thousands. In Detroit, automakers like Ford and Chrysler rely on Brazilian steel and Russian titanium for their F-150s and Jeeps. Duties could tack $5,000 onto every vehicle, pricing them out of middle-class driveways. Agriculture's in the crosshairs too. U.S. pork producers in Iowa export $1 billion to China yearly, but Beijing's already eyeing Brazilian bacon as a cheaper alternative if tariffs escalate. The ripple effects keep coming. Retailers like Walmart, which stock shelves with affordable Chinese textiles and Indian furniture, might see profit margins vanish. Your $20 throw pillow could jump to $50. Economists are waving red flags. The Peterson Institute projects a 2% GDP hit and 1.2 million job losses over 3 years if retaliation kicks in. Inflation's another ghost. Already hovering at 3%, it could spike to 6% as import costs soar, echoing the 1970s stagflation nightmare. Trump's team shrugs it off, pointing to the 2018 steel tariffs that added 11,000 jobs in Rust Belt towns. But that was a smaller scale. 150% across multiple sectors is a beast of a different breed. History whispers warnings. The 1930 Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act, which hiked duties on 20,000 imports, turned a Wall Street crash into a global depression. Canada and Europe fired back, slashing U.S. exports by 67% in 2 years. Wheat rotted in silos and factories idled from Maine to Michigan. Today's world is even more tangled. Global trade's worth $28 trillion, triple the 1930s figure, adjusted for inflation. Could Trump's tariffs ignite a modern meltdown? Supporters say it's a necessary shock to jolt companies home. Think Tesla building more gigafactories in Texas. Critics counter that relocation takes a decade and billions, while costs skyrocket now. Is this a bold stroke to reclaim American greatness, or a misfire that could torch the economy? BRICS revolutionary payment system, bypassing the US dollar. BRICS didn't blink at Trump's tariffs. They swung back with a financial uppercut. Their new payment system is a dagger aimed at the dollar's heart, designed to sever reliance on US-controlled networks like SWIFT and the Federal Reserve's banking web. Here's the gist. Russia sells gas to China in rubles, India buys Brazilian coffee in rupees, and South Africa ships diamonds to China in rand. All without a single greenback or a whisper through Western wires. Powered by blockchain, this setup delivers lightning-fast transactions, ironclad security, and a middle finger to US sanctions. This isn't a pipe dream, it's already rolling. Last month, Russia and China cleared a $30 billion trade deal in local currencies, bypassing SWIFT's prying eyes. The tech's no slouch. Blockchain slashes settlement times from 3 days to 90 seconds, with fees a fraction of Western banks' cut. Encryption locks out hackers and spies. Try sanctioning that, Washington. BRICS is dreaming bigger. A shared digital currency, possibly pegged to gold, could debut by 2027, giving their system heft to rival the euro or yuan alone. Early adopters love it. A Brazilian soy exporter saved 4% on a $10 million deal with India, dodging dollar conversion losses. The groundwork's been years in the making. China's digital yuan's live in 23 cities, handling $300 billion in transactions since 2020. Russia's gold stash, 400 tons, worth $160 billion, backs its ruble with tangible weight. India's UPI, a mobile payment juggernaut, processed 1.5 trillion domestically last year and's now scaling for global use. South Africa's testing blockchain for diamond trades, cutting out middlemen in London and New York. Together, it's a financial Frankenstein that could topple the dollar's throne. The US has long flexed SWIFT as a chokehold, booted Iran in 2018, slashing its oil sales 70%, but BRICS' system could make that muscle obsolete. If it catches on, the dollar's reign as the world's financial cop might end with a whimper. The De-Dollarization Movement. Breaking free from US control, BRICS' payment system is the loudest battle cry yet in a swelling de-dollarization crusade. The dollar's ruled since World War II, cemented by the 1974 petrodollar deal with Saudi Arabia. Oil in dollars, everyone buys greenbacks, America prints cash. But that empire's cracking. Russia and China kicked off the revolt, settling $100 billion in oil and gas trades in yuan and rubles since 2015. Iran's bartering crude for Indian rice and Turkish machinery, dodging sanctions that shrank its economy 25%. Venezuela's peddling oil in euros and Bitcoin, clawing back from a 99% currency collapse. Now, Trump's tariffs have turbocharged the trend. The push isn't just defiance, it's survival. US sanctions have crushed foes. Russia's lost $60 billion in frozen assets since Ukraine. North Korea's a financial pariah. Dollar swings hurt too. A 15% drop in 2022 cost Brazil $20 billion in trade value. BRICS offers a lifeline. Trade in stable local currencies, immune to Wall Street's roller coaster. The bloc's recruiting. Egypt wants in to sell cotton tariff-free, Indonesia's eyeing palm oil deals, and Iran's begging to offload 2 million barrels daily without dollar shackles. Add Saudi Arabia's flirtation with yuan oil sales, 10% of its exports shifted last year, and the petrodollar's quaking. What's next? If BRICS swells to 12 nations, it'd wield 45% of global GDP and 60% of commodity output: oil, lithium, soybeans. Central banks might ditch $7 trillion in US treasuries, spiking rates and cratering the dollar. Russia's pitching a BRICS reserve currency, blending yuan, gold, and digital tokens, a trial slated for 2026. Even allies are wavering. Japan and South Korea, with $1.3 trillion in dollar reserves, are quietly diversifying into yuan and euros. If oil goes off dollar, say OPEC accepts rubles, the US could lose its financial superpower cape overnight. De-dollarization's a slow burn, but it's torching the old order brick by brick. The impact on American consumers and businesses to Trump's tariffs might fire up rally crowds, but they're a sledgehammer to American pocketbooks. Higher duties mean pricier imports. A $500 Samsung TV could hit $800. A $60 pair of Levi's from India might climb to $100. Groceries aren't safe. Brazilian beef's in your burger. Chinese garlic's in your sauce. Expect a 40% hike at checkout. Inflation's at 3.2%. Tariffs could push it to 7%, a level unseen since 1981, when gas lines and 15% mortgage rates crushed families. The Fed might jack rates to 6%, turning a $300,000 home loan into a $2,000 monthly payment. Good luck affording that on a flat wage. Businesses are sweating bullets. Tesla's Shanghai plant pumps out 600,000 cars yearly. Tariffs could slash margins, axing 10,000 US jobs, or jacking Model 3 prices to $50,000. Boeing's 787 Dreamliners need Russian titanium. $1 billion in annual costs could double, losing bids to Airbus. Small fry suffer too. A Kansas toy store importing $5 Chinese dolls might charge $12, killing sales to Walmart's $8 knockoffs. Exports take a beating. China's eyeing Canadian wheat over Minnesota's, and India's swapping California almonds for Aussie ones. The US Chamber of Commerce warns of a $200 billion export drop by 2027. The dollar's wobble amplifies the pain. If BRICS system weakens it 20%, foreign buyers might shun US goods. John Deere tractors, Pfizer drugs, costing 800,000 jobs. Supply chains could snap. The 2021 chip crunch idled 1 million cars. Tariffs might triple that, leaving dealerships barren. Retailers might hoard, sparking shortages. Think empty shelves for Christmas toys or summer grills. Trump's promising jobs, but this could be a slow-motion disaster, bleeding consumers and companies dry while BRICS laughs from the sidelines. A global shift in trade alliances. This isn't just a US BRICS brawl, it's a global realignment. Emerging economies are picking teams, and America's not always the captain. Africa's leaning in. Nigeria's testing yuan oil trades with China. Kenya's shipping tea to India in rupees, both dodging dollar volatility. Latin America's restless. Argentina's eyeing BRICS to escape $44 billion in IMF debt. Bolivia's pitching lithium to China in yuan. The Middle East's hedging. UAE swapped $5 billion in dollar bonds for gold. Qatar's mulling ruble gas deals with Russia. These aren't one-offs. They're threads in a new tapestry. Picture a BRICS-led bloc. 20 nations, $15 trillion in trade, no dollars needed. Ghana sells cocoa to Brazil, which ships beef to Indonesia, all in local currencies. Blockchain humming. Diplomacy shifts. Sanctions on Iran or Cuba lose teeth if they thrive in this parallel system. The EU's twitchy, Germany's BMWs and France's wines might pivot to BRICS markets if US tariffs choke transatlantic flows. Italy's already floated a Euro-Yuan trade channel for its $50 billion China exports. The old US-centric orders fraying, and new power hubs are rising fast. The future of global trade, a shift in power. BRICS is playing chess while the US swings a bat. Its payment system could hit $1 trillion in trade by 2030, pulling in Chile's copper, Australia's coal, and Vietnam's chips. A gold-backed BRICS coin might launch, luring commodity kings. Imagine oil at $80 a barrel in digital rand. The US could counter, tariffs might climb to 200%, or a digital dollar could rival BRICS tech. But inertia's a killer. Congress bickers while BRICS builds. If Europe joins the dance, say, France buys Russian gas in euros, the dollar's sidelined. The future's fluid, but power's tilting east. Looking ahead, the long-term consequences of economic warfare. This saga's a marathon with no finish line in sight. BRICS is forging a fortress. Trade webs, currency swaps, tech that laughs at sanctions. The US must evolve, boost factories, innovate finance, or watch its clout fade. Emerging nations hold the cards, and if 30 join BRICS, the dollar's a relic. Trump's tariffs might spark short-term wins, but they've unleashed a rival ready to rewrite the rules. The world's glued to this showdown. Will America adapt, or has it already lost the economic crown?